Well, there it is, the island of Manhattan, for which the Indians were paid a paltry $24, in beads no less. But it was obviously quite a bargain, because not only did we get New York, but we got the Indian game of lacrosse, a game that has found its way down under. So with that in mind, let's go to Australia and watch the Iroquois Nation take on the world. This is lacrosse, invented by the Iroquois Indians. Now some say it was the first ball game played in America. It was given its contemporary name by the French missionaries who felt the stick looked like a bishop's staff or crozier. In the old days, intertribal games were the Super Bowls of their era. Hundreds of Indians would play a no-holds-barred contest over miles of open terrain for several days at a time. In the 1800s, the Iroquois taught their game to the white man. Jealous of their skill and expertise, these new Americans banned the Iroquois from amateur competition, alleging they were professionals. Today, after a century of silence, the Indians are here to take back their game.
1, 2, 3.
One man who has worked the hardest to bring the Iroquois back into world lacrosse is Chief Orrin Lyons. In 1957, he was an All-American goalie at Syracuse University, and today, he still plays when the tribe elders get together for a game.
The game that's played internationally today is the Iroquois game. The long stick in the net, this is our game. And we taught the English and the French, and it's come into this world competition.
The Iroquois Nation is made up of 6 tribal groups whose reservations span from New York State into the Ontario province of Canada. Traveling on Iroquois Nation passports, they ventured 10,000 miles to Perth, Australia to take their place at the opening ceremonies of the Lacrosse World Series, alongside the other powerhouse nations of the world, Canada, England, the United States, and Australia. The significance of the moment was not lost on the crowd as the Iroquois flag was displayed to the sound of their national anthem. This was history in the making.
It's been a long, hard trail to come back to where we were perhaps 500 years ago.
The evening was memorable for many reasons, but most agreed that the exchange of dances between the two native peoples was especially important. Orrin showed off an Iroquois dance and was followed on stage by Australian Aborigines who showed them dances of their own. But when the dancing stopped, the hard business of lacrosse began. The Iroquois have their work cut out for them as they are at a distinct disadvantage. The other nations pick an all-star team from a huge pool of top college players. In contrast, the Indians have only about 100 active players to choose from, all of them working people. But the Iroquois have a secret weapon that no other team can duplicate. For them, lacrosse is more than a sport. It is a highly spiritual activity, what they call a medicine game. They play to honor the Creator and feel that their ancestors are playing right alongside them.
All those people are still here. They're still around the field. Now is the time to call upon them, guys. They'll give you that inner strength. They'll give you that little extra step. Use them. Use it and feel it. They'll be there with us. Finally done. 1, 2, 3. Let's go!
Today, the Iroquois Nation plays the mighty Canadians, for whom lacrosse is their national sport. Now, most observers expect the Maple Leafs to make quick work of their southern neighbors. But the Iroquois have waited a long time for this day, and make it a game to remember. The object of lacrosse, like soccer, hockey, or basketball, is to pass the ball from player to player as you move down the field, and of course, to score a goal. Watch closely and you'll see the players cradling or rocking the ball to keep it in the webbing. This allows them to keep possession while preventing the defender from dislodging the ball. Scooping the ball off the ground and passing with accuracy are all unique skills needed to be a top lacrosse player. Today against the Canadians, it's a seesaw battle and a highly physical game. The Iroquois are overmatched, but they don't give up, even when they're down by several goals. At the final whistle, they lose 18-15, but they can stand tall knowing they have taken on and held their own against one of the best teams in the world. The high of facing up to the Canadians is quickly dissipated by a disappointing loss to the Australians, and then another defeat at the hands of the British. In both games, the Iroquois played well, but not well enough.
Very fine line between playing rough, tumble, old-time lacrosse and playing a little bit foolish. Okay? I think we've done a hell of a job so far, but we still don't have a win.
With their backs against the wall, the Iroquois must psych themselves up for a game against the United States. For the Indians, the stakes are high. Not only will they fight for a bronze medal, but also for the honor of being the best in America. The game is rough and tumble, for the Iroquois are determined not to be intimidated by these All-Americans. They play with a high degree of force and power. They feel this style of play pleases their God.
Called Kachikwa 8. That means literally they bump hips. It's a game the creator loves, and the more intensely it's played, the better he likes it.
The game is intense, but ultimately the Iroquois are no match for the shooting power of the United States. Again, they are reminded of the bitter taste of defeat. Today, there will be no medal for the Iroquois, but nothing can take away from the respect they've gained from the whole lacrosse world, and the respect they've gained as a people.
It was our flag flying with the rest of the four nations in equal status, which pleased me the most. Of course, I would love to have been a winner, at least for one game. But the fact that we were 3 goals away from the second team and 3 goals away from the last team kind of gives you a spectrum of where we are. We're obviously capable of winning. The boys are already, looking out to who's going to be the next team.
All agree that this tournament is a victory for the Iroquois no matter what the outcome of the games. For only now is lacrosse re-elevated to its original sacredness. The Iroquois are again a part of the world of lacrosse, and they can play their game the way it was meant to be played, for the pleasure of the Creator. So this is Wall Street, the financial heartbeat of America. An amazing game if I've ever seen one. A tough sport that definitely requires stamina and dedication. So what happens when you combine the corporate resolve of Wall Street with athletic power? Well, we're going to get a taste of that strange brew in Japan when we come back.